Hey everybody, welcome back to Chortle Cast. I'm one of your hosts, Jake, and alongside me this week, as always, Steven, the Stream King, the Far Cry Guy, the Deadpan Man, Nathan Drake himself. Steven.
Nathan Drake himself, what a name.
I did that because I made a thumbnail for you doing Uncharted where I made you Nathan Drake. So you are now Nathan Drake. Steven.
That is the greatest thing anyone has ever done for me. Thank you.
Yeah. Also, if you're watching us on YouTube, that's chortlegames.com, you are getting some cat cam footage right now because Gatsby is in the backdrop of my set, which you'll notice is very different. And Steven's set is also very different.
Yep.
Because this is 2019, everybody. It's a new year, new us, new podcast
new things.
Style, okay? Very different.
New high-def cameras to make me judge my body again.
Right. See, I've been using a high-def camera. Now Steven's using a high-def camera, and I'm using a laptop camera. So we're having whole sorts of flip-flop. It may get better. It may get worse. Who knows?
Gotta keep it interesting, yeah.
Yeah, anything could happen. But in case you didn't know, this is Chortle Cast, the official podcast of Chortle Games, where we talk about TV shows, animes, movies, video games, mostly video games, whatever else we want to talk about. And we have a great time. We've got a great show for you this week. Since this is the first kind of week back from Christmas and New Year's break, news is a little slow. You know what I mean? Not much is happening.
Yeah.
Everybody knows, people who post things know right now is not the time to post things, okay? They know that it needs to be, they need to wait, give it some time. So I just had a cat jump in my lap. Sorry. They know they got to give it some space. So it's a little bit of a slower news week, but we're going to talk about some Smash Brothers DLC characters potentially being leaked. We're going to talk about the new Stranger Things poster, and then we're also going to talk. We're going to go through a couple games, Steven, that we didn't mention in our most anticipated games of 2019 because they don't have a release date for 2019 yet. Sorry, my cat just ripped my headphones out. So these games that don't have a release date for 2019, and we are going to go down the list and we're gonna decide. Is this gonna make it to 2019, or are we gonna have to wait a little bit longer to see this game? So anyway, it's gonna be a good show. But first. I do have a little bit of housekeeping. This is kind of an exciting thing. Steven, did you know that this is the 95th episode of Chortle Cast?
I did not know that. That's cool.
I did not either until I did the number crunch myself today. And if you're watching on YouTube or listening on podcast services like iTunes, don't look at me and say, Jake, there are not 95 in this playlist, okay? If you're watching on YouTube, it's probably because I forgot to put one in the playlist. And if you're listening on iTunes, there's probably one or two podcasts that just never got uploaded. Okay,
Yep.
So I'm sorry, but this is the 95th episode, so we got to start thinking about what we want to do for the 100th episode.
Oof.
So I'm gonna put it out to all you chortlers out there. What would you like to see for the 100th episode of Chortle Cast? Because I'm all for suggestions. So you can hit us up at chortlecast@gmail.com. You can also write in topics, questions, all that sort of stuff, just for our regular shows. But then also you can hit us up on our Discord and let us know what you think would be fun for a 100th episode of Chortle Cast.
I've got some thoughts on that, Jake, and we'll talk about that later.
I'm all for it. Cool. I'm all about it. I'm throwing it out there, okay? It's 90. We're 95, so we got 4 podcasts to figure out what to do for that big day. So anyway, let's dive in. First thing we always do for the show, we do a little thing called Catch Up. This is where we talk about what we've played or watched over the past week. So, Steven, I should also mention, since we're on housekeeping, this episode is airing on Monday at 12 o'clock Central Time,
different.
which is not when the podcast normally airs. We have switched some things up this year, switched the schedule around. So this is going to be the new time for the podcast. New year, new time. Same bat channel, same bat content. Just a new year, new time. But anyway, all right. I'm sorry. That's enough housekeeping. We're gonna do catch up. Steven, what have you been playing and/or watching this week that you would like to talk about?
So I've been playing a good bit of Switch. Finally been diving deep into Diablo 3 on the Switch. They've got a event going on right now called The Darkening of Tristram, which is it's a 16-level dungeon that is themed to the first Diablo. So when you go in, the graphics are kind of regressed a little bit. It looks kind of cool. And I played that last night by myself, and it was fun. There's a lot of replayability in it. But I've been playing a lot with my brother who got Diablo on the Switch, Andrew from Friendly Fire Games. So we've been playing that a lot. I have been still playing Uncharted on Thursday nights. Just beat Uncharted 2 on Saturday, and that was a lot of fun. But probably the biggest thing that I've been doing is Division. And
still working on the shield.
Still working on the shields.
How many more shields do you have?
I have 3 more shields to get. One of them, as soon as it unlocks, will be immediately given to me because it's basically achieved the highest possible gear score, and I'm the only person in my team to have done that.
Okay.
So as soon as that shield unlocks, and that's going to unlock in February, I'll have that one. And the other 2, one of them is collect all of the exotics in the game. I'm 4 guns away. And that I'm 91% done with that one. And the other one, the only one that's going to give me trouble, is achieve a commendation score of 3,000, which is way too high of a commendation score for for that shield, because I am at, I think, 23 something, and I'm just like hands up in the air, like, what else am I supposed to do in this game to get a commendation? Because
Is that like in
it's
Destiny,
Triumph.
you got your Triumph score?
Yeah, it's basically Triumph.
Similar?
Yeah, you do certain things in the game that give you points, and it's basically like not a level system, but I guess a commitment system. Like, how long has this person been playing this game? How much of the game have they explored? Right. Like, to give you an example of how much there is left for me to do in that, there are commendations to kill a certain number of each enemy faction. The one that I have closest to completion, I've only killed half of the number I need to. And I've been playing this game for almost 3 years.
Jeez.
3 years? Yeah, almost 3 years. It doesn't help that I'm a medic. So
right, you might want to switch gears a little bit for the next couple rounds.
So one thing I've been doing is whenever I've been solo playing, I'll go to West Side Pier, which is where all the factions are located because they fight in tandem, and I'll go on my sniper build and I'll just basically hunt guys down and just pop them before they even see me. But that's a real slow burn. But I guess the reason I wanted to talk about Division is because on Tuesday, our current plan is to actually play Division, and I actually found a 4-man team to play with, and so that's why I've been playing so much. A lot of you know Evan. Evan has been helping us out with some live streams, and he's been basically my wingman on Division. And he runs the tank build, so he's got the ballistic shield, and he's basically unkillable. Then Jeremy from 8-Bit Gamesters, of course, he is kind of our high roller. He has almost every single set in the game and can just do whatever he wants. And I would, but I'm too generous. I give my things that I don't need to the needy, and Jeremy just takes it. So
he's just a whore. Yeah, he just takes it all.
He's got basically everything. But Jeremy is playing with us as well. And then a guy that some of you may have seen in the chat once or twice, Alias is his username, but his name is James. He has been joining us a lot too, and he's kind of trying to figure out what build he's running. So it's been really cool actually playing Division with a devoted 4-man team, because I can't remember the last time I was able to do that. So on Tuesday, if I can get everybody,
I've never been devoted.
Yeah, you. I feel bad for you, because with you it was basically, all right, Jake, we're streaming this game in a week, and I dragged you through the mud. I even played your account by myself just to get you gear. But it's been really cool doing that, because we've been doing a lot of the harder stuff, doing more team tactics, and if I can get all 4 of us available, that's going to be what we do on Tuesday. And I'm really excited, so look forward to that.
That's awesome. Yeah. Team Up Tuesday is going to be interesting. I've got a lot of work trips that are falling on Tuesday, which I hate, because I do like Team Up Tuesday. Yeah, it's one of my favorite nights that we stream. Yeah. But anyway, well, that's awesome. Anything else you've been playing or wanted to talk about doing?
What have I been playing? Like, I feel like a lot of Uncharted, a lot of Division, a little bit of Destiny. I'll tell you what I watched that I don't think we've mentioned on podcast was Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh, I don't know that we mentioned it on a podcast either, but yes, that was.
It's
the
worth
greatest
a mention.
movie
Yeah.
ever.
I didn't expect it to be that good because it was Sony.
Right.
But that the guys that did Lego Movie, 21 Jump Street, Last Man on Earth, Phil Lord and Chris Miller, they're the ones that did Into the Spider-Verse, and like that movie cemented them as like must-see directors for me.
Absolutely.
Because I can't think of a movie that they've done that I've not enjoyed. So
it was so delightful.
It was.
And every single character and moment in that movie was just awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
And then the animation style is a reason
man.
to go see it alone.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is an incredible style.
I leaned over to Anna 2 minutes into watching this movie, and I said, we need to see this in 3D. And I've never said that about a movie before. But the animation style is just so good that it lends itself to it.
Yeah. It's so good. There's so many good moments in that, but with that we could just go on and on.
Yep.
But anyway, that's a must-see movie.
Yep.
Got to go see that if you
Absolutely.
haven't. Well, I'll transition into what I've been watching and playing. I've been playing a lot of Destiny.
Yeah.
I am level 647 on my hunter.
Nice.
I've got the Black Talon, which is the exotic sword that lets you shoot lasers. That's an amazing exotic.
Yep.
I've really enjoyed it. I thought that, as fun as it is to play, it wouldn't be very useful, like in normal situations.
Yeah.
Something like Thunderlord, when you pull that out, you can just blow through bosses. I have found, though, at least when I'm with a team, I can still do pretty good damage with just the Black Talon.
Yeah.
And I'm using it a lot more. Like, basically, if I see a shielded enemy, I whip the sword out real quick, throw a blast at them, put the sword back up, and pull out my bow and keep fighting, and finish them off. And that's been working out really, really well. And I've never done that with any other weapon.
Well, and with gear mods now, you could totally spec a lot of your gear to have more frequent heavy ammo drops. So you could kind of main Black Talon if you really wanted to.
Yeah. It's so fun to use, and if for a sword, if you're gonna have a sword in the game, especially as you're heavy, I feel like that's the one to have.
Yeah.
Because it's still ranged. You can still have, some distance if you need to hit something far away. So.
Right.
It's been really good. I was telling you and Evan just a few nights ago. I've been trying to beat this one strike that you have to do without dying to get to the Izanami Forge, which is the third forge in the Black Armory DLC. And you have to do this whole thing. Well, I'm playing solo because you nor Evan are as high a level as I am, or as far. Evan, I don't think, has even unlocked the second forge yet. So you guys weren't high enough to even help. So I've had to do this by myself, and I tried, and eventually I got up to level 645, and the level cap is 640 for this, or the requirement is 640 for this.
Yep.
And so I did it. I had Black Talon. I'd had Thunderlord before, and I beat it with Black Talon, whereas I wasn't able to beat it with Thunderlord. So I don't know. It's a good exotic. I really like it. And then my crowning achievement this week is I got the Black Armory bow, not the Le Monarque, not the exotic, just the legendary bow that you get. Steven, it's a recurve bow that goes in your kinetic slot. Okay. So every other recurve in the game that I know of is in your energy slot. But this one is the only one that I know of that's in your kinetic slot. So, but it had explosive head, and it's got quick draw time. So I've been using the full out of that. I'm just mad because I had finally masterworked No Turning Back, which is the bow that Petra gives you at the beginning of Forsaken. And I've pretty much been using that, and once it was masterworked, it was like, oh my gosh, this is great, because it's almost every kill is giving me light. So with that and Shards of Ganar, I was really getting my super back quick. So now I'm going to have to remasterwork this bow, probably only to masterwork this bow, and then have Le Monarque or Trinity Ghoul drop for me, and then I'll never touch another bow again. But that's not true. I'm probably going to switch between having Trinity Ghoul or Le Monarque and Black Talon equipped. It's just going to depend on what situation I'm in. To get to those. But anyway, I've been playing a lot of Destiny, really enjoying that. And then I watched something new, Steven. There's this little show or movie called Bandersnatch that came out on Netflix this week. Have you heard anything about this?
Only what you told me very briefly in the Far Cry stream.
So it's a movie that is a choose-your-own-adventure movie. And it's based on a book by the same name that is a choose-your-own-adventure book. And basically, the story of the game is, the movie, is that you're a kid and you're designing a game. I want to say it's like in the 1960s or something, or no, maybe not that late. I don't know, 1985, something. There's like there's 8-bit games that are being made, and like that's kind of what it follows. And so this kid is making a game called Bandersnatch, and it's where, the game lets you make choices, and the story plays along like that. It's a choose your own adventure game. So it's a choose your own movie about a choose your own adventure game.
Interesting.
Based off of a choose your own adventure book. Anyway, that's like what it's about. But the way it plays out is you're controlling everything that happens in the show. So like in the very beginning. The kid who you're the main character, his dad turns around and he's like, what cereal do you want? And it's like Frosties or, cinnamon poofs or something. And you pick which one. And like, I don't know how much that affects where your outcome comes, but like, that's a choice you have to make. You choose what music the kid listens to, all sorts of stuff. And eventually it just divulges into a lot of crazy stuff. Like there's this one part where a guy, basically he kind of like unloads and explains everything to you. And is like, the government's controlling us. There are these decisions you make, but there's alternate timelines. And he was like, basically nothing matters. He was like, and then he's like if one of us jumped off a building, we'd both survive, just in different timelines. So who's gonna jump? And it's like, you can jump or he can jump. And so I ended up doing both just because how it works.
Right.
I chose let myself jump first because I was like, this is going to end and it'll probably let me loop back. So I jump off and it shows that ending. And then it took me back to that moment and I let him jump. And then I continued on. It's very trippy. It's very weird. There's a lot of different pathways. My critique with it is, it never really ended for me. Like people have been talking about like, what ending did you get? Like, what ending did you get? Like, I got 4 or 5 endings because like I let the kid die at moments just to see what would happen. But the furthest I got stuck in a loop. Basically, I would go down one path and then I'd have an ending and it would loop me back to the choice that made that decision, like got me to that part. And so I'd go the other direction and then something would happen and I would loop back to that same decision. So basically it was a 3-way split, and I went down all 3 paths and I just kept looping back. And so it was funny, after the first one, it started giving me the option like, do you want to skip to the credits? And I was just like, well, no, I want to finish. But once I got into a loop where I couldn't do anything else, I was like, sure, credits. So anyway, that's my one critique is, and maybe it's just me, but I wish it had more of a, I don't know if obvious path is what I'm looking for, but like Detroit, Steven, there were plenty of ways to die and like end the game for that character, but also there was a lot of ways to make it to the end of the story,
right?
And just have a really different outcome. So that's kind of what I was hoping for, something more along that lines, but I didn't get there, at least the way I watched it. So anyway, just interesting. It took me about probably an hour or two to get through that, and there was 5 hours of content, I think they said. So if you're interested and you got Netflix and you want to try it out, you can get through it and kind of see what it's all about.
Interesting.
Quick, but anyway.
Cool.
Yeah, really interesting. Really interesting. I hope they do something more. Like I hope they do something different.
Yeah.
With that, because the other thing that didn't bother me, it was very creative how they did it, but it was very much a look at this cool gimmick, and like let's talk about that, because like the kid becomes aware that someone is making decisions for him.
Yeah.
And it kind of gets meta with that.
Yep.
So I'd like to see something that's not focusing on the meta of it.
Yeah.
And was more like Detroit, where it's like, let's make this decision and let's see this outcome. But anyway, that's just my critiques of it. But, personal preference and everything. So.
Gotcha.
All right. Let's move into some news stuff. So again, light week, but still some cool stuff to talk about. I'm going to go first, and I'm going to talk about season 3 of Stranger Things.
Yep.
Because Steven's got the other story. So on New Year's, Steven, I was, you know how I was. I was about 6 drinks in, and I look over at you, and I was like, or I don't think I looked at you. I just announced to the whole room. I was like, Stranger Things is coming out on July 4th, everybody. There's a poster.
Yeah, I think.
And I was so excited, and no one reacted. No one cared.
I think you looked at me, and I think I was your whole world in that moment because, like you said, you were 6 drinks in, and you were like, Stranger Things season 3 got a poster, and 11 and the boy are holding hands, and they're looking away, and everyone else is looking that way. And Anna heard you say that, and she and I have yet to watch anything Stranger Things.
I know,
because it's one of those things that has been really hyped, and it's all anyone talks about. And right. Anna and I both have this worry that when we watch it, we're not going to want to like it because everyone says that we have to like it. So Anna, she heard you talk about Stranger Things, and she was like, "Great." So that was funny.
Great.
But
yeah.
We're gonna watch that when we get married. We got a long list of things to watch when.
That'll be a great thing to watch on a honeymoon or something. But anyway, so they did post a poster. They gave the release date July 4th. So I just want to, I want to talk about it just because I'm excited about it, and I just want to, Steven already kind of said my big thing about the whole poster is when you look at it, 11 and Will, which are the two that are most connected to the Upside Down. They're both looking back at what appears to be, some upside down roots that are like growing. I wouldn't be surprised if these roots or these maybe even be legs of this monster are going to be like the main monster villain in this season. But it's interesting that 11 and Will are both the only two looking back, and everyone else is focused on the fireworks. Everyone except for I can never remember his name. The actor's name is Finn. I can't remember his actual name now. But anyway, he's looking at 11, who's looking back. So obviously something is coming, and they're very aware of it. But I just love it. I just love seeing 11 and I can't remember Finn's character's name, but seeing them together, and I'm just excited. I'm ready to see what happens next with this story. I've been hearing a lot of people say that this is supposed to be like the last season, and I really hope that's not true. Just because I like the show and want to see more from it. Yeah. But the kids are getting older, and they are getting, maybe not bigger roles, but other roles that they're, having to take longer time with. So these kids are taking off and blowing up. So, which is great, which is an exciting thing for them. But I just, knowing them from this show and loving this show, I hope they'll continue on. At one point, they said they were going to do 5 seasons, but I'm wondering if they're realizing the difficulty of making something like that happen. But anyway, that's my 2 cents on it. Hope to see more. Hopefully we'll get a trailer soon. We've got a couple teasers, but a full trailer would be really, really exciting. All right, so Steven, you found a leak, or some people have been reporting on a leak of the DLC characters from Smash, and you find them a bit ridiculous. But I want to walk through them. So if you're nervous about Smash spoilers, which I don't know if that's even a real thing, but if you are concerned, you may not want to listen to this. But Stephen and I have kind of read over this, and there's not many that we think are likely, but anything's possible, I guess, with the Joker coming. So, Stephen, why don't you run us down through these?
So we already know that we got Piranha Plant and Joker from Persona.
Right.
But we apparently got a few more leaks. There's 4 total. And the first one's like, okay, I could see that. It's Erdrick from Dragon Quest, which makes
Japanese game.
Right, Japanese game, probably coming to the Switch, a game that would fit right in. It would make sense.
Right.
Then they just go right off the rails immediately with Ryu Hayabusa from Ninja Gaiden. And Jake, I don't know if you've ever played a Ninja Gaiden game, but it's that happening would be the equivalent of them putting a Dark Souls character in Smash.
Right.
It just doesn't make sense. Ryu has been in fighters before. He was in Dead or Alive. He was in one of those games. But I've played 2 Ninja Gaiden games in my lifetime, and it's the kind of game where you are constantly decapitating people. You are chopping them into bits. You are just... It's... And I know, but Steven, Solid Snake's a rated M character. Not like this. Not like this. It just...
It's a whole nother level of rated M.
I think it would be cool, but I just do not see it happening because as far as I know, there's no real... current Nintendo partnership with the guys that do Ninja Gaiden, so I don't know. And then
it would at least be a Japanese game.
It would.
Right?
It would be a Japanese game, which was like okay, sure. Weirder things have happened. Maybe not in the Smash universe, but weirder things have happened.
Weirder things have happened.
But then we get Steve from Minecraft, which there's. I get it that...
I don't know, Steven. Out of all of them, this may be, like, to me, this is the one that makes the most sense. Because Nintendo and Microsoft have both had a really good partnership. And I don't even know if Microsoft is if Minecraft is technically Microsoft's or not. But, like, Minecraft, Xbox, and Switch have all been really, really close, especially this year. They did that whole commercial that was basically like... it's more fun to play together or something like that, where it was like cross-play on Microsoft and Switch playing Minecraft. I don't know.
But it would be so stupid.
This has been like a joke DLC character for a while.
Yeah.
Like, this is what people have been saying, like, oh, this is going to happen. Like, not that they were excited about it or anything. So I don't know. This could happen.
Here's the thing, though. I don't want Minecraft Steve in the game because... I think it'd be dumb.
I don't either, but I'm just
I think it'd be dumb, and you're right. This one makes the most sense out of the final 3, but that's because number 3 is Doom Guy from Doom. That's even more rated M than Ninja Gaiden. Because if you read interviews with Sakurai when they announced Snake for Smash Brawl, he was like... we didn't want Snake to have any guns because, it's still a family-friendly game, so we made him more of an explosives guy, which was like, okay, that's a cool concept. You don't do that with Doom Guy.
Yeah, no, there's no...
He either has guns or he rips your arm off and then feeds it to you. That is what Doom Guy does. And... as much as I think it would be hilarious to see a final Smash where Doom Guy goes up to Duck Hunt Dog, rips off the duck from his back and shoves it down his mouth, that's not going to happen in Smash. And then...
I was imagining Falcon doing a Falcon punch and like Doom Guy
just takes it, breaks his arm
cutting it
off
and shoving it in his face.
Oh, man. Like, that just... It sounds so incredibly fake. I could see them doing like a Doom map or Doom Me outfits, something like that. That could be cool. In fact, that would fit at home really well if they did like a Doom Guy Me Gunner skin. But, and again, Ryu Hayabusa would fit right in as a Me Sword Fighter skin. But as fighters, though, that's just... And again, I know we've got characters like Bayonetta and Snake, but these are just different. They would not feel at home. And then this leak says that, I believe the leak says this. Someone said that it's also leaked that Master Chief might have a skin for Doom Guy or something like that, which just does not sound plausible at all. Like the Doom Guy and the Master Chief thing, that's what makes me think, okay, this is not legitimate whatsoever. I'm sorry, I keep saying Doom Guy. It's the Doom Slayer.
Yeah, the article I'm kind of have just to kind of follow along. It says AKA the Marine. So,
it's Doom Slayer.
I don't know.
With the new Doom, they made it to where instead of, and my Doom knowledge is hazy, but originally he was just Doom Guy because he was the faceless Marine that fought the demons. But in the new one, he was revived on Mars, and they're like, oh shoot, the prophecy is fulfilled. The Doom Slayer's here, and it was awesome because it was like just this human guy going around Mars, and demons are afraid of him. Like that's the most metal thing I've ever heard.
That game is very metal.
Yeah, I need to play it.
That's crazy. I'm upset because I want Banjo.
I agree.
Banjo-Kazooie.
Yep. I the old leak that they teased, like before the roster was fully announced, I thought that was a much better and more plausible leak than any of these, except for maybe the guy from Dragon Quest.
I think the guy from Dragon Quest is possible because that's a fairly friendly game from what I understand.
Yeah, it fits right in.
I don't know. And then Ninja Gaiden, I know it's bloody and stuff, but like I could totally see. I mean, a sword fighter is not unheard of because we have Zelda and. Don't
get me wrong, Ryu would be a blast to play because that game is stupid fun.
Crazy, it's bonkers.
But I think he would be much more fitting as a support trophy.
Yeah.
Like I think all of those would honestly fit right in as support trophies, except for Doom Guy. He put it.
He just doesn't need to
put him in Mortal Kombat instead, because that's the level that Doom Guy is on. Doom Slayer.
Give him a chainsaw.
Yeah. Give him a chainsaw. Have his fatality be that he breaks your arm off and feeds it to you. That's what Doom Slayer does.
That's all he needs. That's all he needs. Okay, all right. Well, let's. We're gonna switch gears here a little bit, Steven. We're gonna play a game. Okay, we're gonna play. A game. This is gonna be the game I'm gonna call. Is it coming out in 2019 or not? Okay.
Okay.
So that's a horrible name.
2019 or nah.
Yeah. 2019 or not. 19 or nah.
19 or nah. There you go.
19 or nah. That's what we're playing. So there's I've got a list here. This is IGN wrote an article about this, and it's 12 massive games that don't have a release date. So I'm just going to go down the line. I think there's 10 or 12. I'm not sure.
Okay.
No, it says 12. Okay. We're going to go down the line. I'm just going to say it. I'll talk about it, and then we can give it a 19 or nah. All right. So the first one is Bayonetta 3. It was announced at the Game Awards in 2017, and we've heard nothing from developer Platinum Games since. The studio is particularly busy, however, with World of Demons, Babylon's Fall, and Grand Blue Fantasy Relink.
Yeah.
Also in the works. So, what do you think, Steven? Bayonetta 3 probably going to come to Switch. I'm pretty sure it was when they announced it was like a big Switch thing.
I'm going to say...
I think Bayonetta 1 and 2 dropped on Switch.
Yeah.
Or got like a release date announcement or something on that. What you think?
That's going to be a nah for me.
That's a nah from you, dog?
I think so.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it could be possible that like maybe in January's Direct, they may come on and be like, Bayonetta 3 coming out, November 2019 or something. But that would be a surprise, to be sure.
And I know nothing about Bayonetta. I've never played it.
I don't either.
It's not for me. Yeah.
I know that character. She's that character in Smash.
Yeah.
Who's a witch.
Yeah.
So.
Only thing I know about Bayonetta is I watched the death battle that Screw Attack did of Dante from Devil May Cry versus Bayonetta, and it was, again, one of those most metal things I've ever seen because Dante absolutely destroyed her. It was awesome. But that's all I know about Bayonetta.
Well, there you go.
I know random stats.
Okay, now this is going to be a real easy one for you, Steven.
Yeah.
Not a real question here, I think. Elder Scrolls 6.
Nah.
Elder Scrolls 6 is another next-gen game, but it's going to be after Starfield, and this one is going to be on next year's list. So I'm thinking this is probably not. This is a nah.
I agree.
I don't think this is even a 2020 game. I think this is like a 2021 or 22 maybe.
I
probably further than that.
I would say probably November of 20.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Huh. Well, okay. Maybe so. I think it's going to come after the PS5 though. Like I think it's maybe not a launch game.
That's true.
But maybe like within the year after.
Yeah.
So maybe that would fit with 2020. But anyway. All right, next one. Gears 5. So the Coalition's second mainline Gears of War entry is well into development, but we don't have a release date beyond a vague 2019. Considering its strong showing at this year's E3, it's likely that it's in good shape. So yeah, at E3 they did show a lot of I don't think it was gameplay. It was just kind of a clip. Did they show gameplay at that?
I don't think so. But I think
if they did, I don't remember it being very much.
I think we'll get an October release for that of this year.
Something 2000 October,
not,
2019.
Yeah,
October.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, all right. I could go with that. If they've already kind of given it a vague 19, that sounds good. Most vague 19s are probably going to be later in the year 19.
Yep.
If I had to guess, but. All right, moving on. So this is Respawn's Star Wars Jedi: The Fallen Order. Nah.
There's.
So they had some like, they didn't even have any footage or anything. They just like, I think Andrea Renee at EA's conference.
Here's our Star Wars game. It's gonna be amazing. We're working really hard, and it's just amazing. Yeah. And that was it.
So that's a nah.
I think that's a nah for me. Not only is it connected to EA, but it's also it's also Respawn. And while I do think that they are in pre-development for Titanfall 3, I think that was kind of leaked, so that could bode well for Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. And if I'm being honest, based on what I've heard, because I think it's a post-Order 66 game, and that sounds incredible. So I'm actually really excited for that game, but I just don't think we're going to see it this year. We may see some gameplay or a cinematic trailer at E3, but not a release.
Exactly. Yeah, that's I feel the same way. If we haven't seen anything of it yet, I feel very strongly that it's not going to happen this year.
Yep.
Maybe they could show something in the next month or so, and then maybe it would come out by like November or December. Yeah. But that's they either really held, pulling the trigger on a trailer for a long time.
For the next month or so, all eyes are on Anthem when it comes to EA. They're keeping Battlefield relevant, but they need to make Anthem a success. Because it's a huge gambit for them, and it looks like it'll pay off. Yeah. But the smart business move would be to make everyone want that game, and then let it marinate, and then save any bigger announcements for later.
Yeah, absolutely, completely agree. So hopefully that's well, not hopefully, but yeah, that's probably a nah.
Yeah.
All right, so Last of Us Part 2.
Nah.
We last saw Last of Us Part 2 at E3 this year of 2018.
Yeah.
And though we got a fairly big chunk, we haven't seen anything since. And Naughty Dog has tweeted that it will show off more when the time is right. Mm-hmm. But without a PSX this year, or Sony being at E3 this year, who knows when that'll be. So that's a nah from you, Steven?
I think so. They're going to make Last of Us... Like, Naughty Dog works so directly with Sony that I don't think we're going to see Last of Us Part 2 until the PS5 is out, and that's going to be their system seller at first. It's going to be one of them.
Yeah, I have a feeling that, and I'm sure we're going to get to it here in a second, but Ghost of Tsushima,
Tsushima.
I have a feeling those are both going to be PS5 launch games.
Yeah.
Which are both, those are system sellers right there. But I hate to wait that long to play both of those.
Yeah.
But anyway. All right, let's move on. All right, Final Fantasy VII Remake. It was originally announced at E3 in 2015, and instead of receiving a continual updates,
It's gonna be episodic.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. Instead of receiving continual updates and assets since, we got radio silence. Director Tetsuna Nomura has said that while it had moved beyond conceptual stages, it was announced too early. We will see it will we see it at this year's E3? Who knows? What do you think, Steven?
We're
That's a nom
definitely not going to see it at this year's E3. And
well, yeah.
I think the director of the game was the same guy that directed Kingdom Hearts 3. So we'll see it in probably 15 years.
Well, see, what's funny is that guy. His hand is in so many things at Square Enix.
Yep.
Because he was working on Final Fantasy 15, and then he broke away from that to finish up Kingdom Hearts. So if he is a part of this, then he's probably working on it now, because I'm pretty sure Kingdom Hearts has gone gold.
Yeah. Well, better have. It comes out in less than a month.
Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure it has. But so he may be working on it now, but who knows? Out of the last couple we read, this one maybe they would announce something at E3 this year through Square Enix's conference or something.
Yeah.
And then maybe it gets a late fall release of this year. But beyond that, I think this is going to fall in line with a Kingdom Hearts or a Final Fantasy 15.
I agree.
Where it takes 10 or 15 years before we get something, even though we've known about it for those 10 or 15 years.
Yep.
So,
yep.
Anyway, who knows? Okay, and then Halo Infinite, which was announced at this past year's E3. We're still a ways off from getting an actual release date. It's got brand new graphics. It's got a new engine called Split Space. So it's not slated for 2019 by anywhere. What do you think?
I think that Microsoft tries to keep at least 3 exclusives out every year, because they've tried to do that, I think, consistently, and so I think Gears is going to be one of them. I've got no idea what the other ones are going to be, so maybe they pump out Halo. I don't foresee that happening. I think that's going to probably have more of a May 2020 release.
Yeah, I think that sounds good. And honestly, everything Microsoft seems to be doing is gearing up for the next generation.
Yeah.
They're snatching up studios. They're putting a lot of games into development. And it seems like in a lot of ways they're coasting with what they have now. Yeah. And are really just trying to prepare for the next generation.
They're kind of just accepting their participation medal and taking a knee.
Exactly. They know that there's no catching up now. Yeah. And they have to prepare for that. And in the same way, I think Sony has also realized that there's no catching up to them, like no one's going to catch up to them. So they're kind of looking forward. So I wouldn't be surprised if the next generation is coming, the PS5 and the Xbox 2 or whatever the heck they're going to call it. Really, who knows? Those are coming, and they're coming probably sooner than we would like. So I wouldn't be surprised if Xbox maybe broke the bubble first and jumped and said, "Hey, all right, next generation, like let's get in it, let's do it."
Yep.
Just because they're so ready to get to that point. So I don't think this is going to be 2019. I think maybe we'll see more of it at E3, especially if they announce like whatever the next thing is, and talk about it. That's what I would expect more so than this coming out.
Yep.
All right, moving on. Man, this is a great one. Cyberpunk 2077. Cyberpunk, or not Cyberpunk, CD Projekt Red has said that the whole game is playable, like that you can play through the whole game from start to finish.
Right.
They're just tightening up bugs. That's supposedly what they've said. They've showed a really, really strong and long gameplay demo. But that they were very much like, this is demo. It may not turn out this way.
We're gonna they emphasized a lot in that demo for people to ground their expectations.
I think they were very scared
Yes.
to show much, but I think they had, as I understand it, they had such a good response at E3.
Yeah.
They were like, okay, we got to show something. We got to show everybody. Anyway, what do you think, Steven? What about this game?
I'm gonna say no. I'm thinking first half of 2020.
I'd agree with that. They've been working on this game for a while. I can't remember exactly when it was first announced. I want to say it was first announced in like 2015.
It was announced like 2011 or something like that. It was a long time ago.
Really?
Yeah, because it was the teaser video of the girl with the blade arms.
Right. They announced that and the name. And then it was pretty much radio silence until around this year at E3, where they obviously they had a big showing at Microsoft. It was
2012.
And then,
I think.
Do what now?
It was 2012, I think.
2012. Okay. All right. Yeah. Wow. So anyway, but they had a big showing at E3 this year, and then even later in the year they dropped that demo.
Yep.
So I don't know. I agree with you. I think it's probably more like a 2020 release.
Yeah.
But oh man, if they could capitalize on like a November or an October release date for this year.
Yeah. So far,
that would be huge.
So far, October and November are wide open.
Yeah. I mean, everything we know, like for sure, is is like March and April.
Yep.
And then past, I think, May, we don't really know much.
Right.
So we have a lot of loose 2019 dates, like, oh, it's coming out in 2019.
Yep.
But I don't know. Cyberpunk, if they could pull it off and make it happen this year, that would be huge.
It would.
I mean, that would be a game that would dominate, I think. Especially the Game of the Year topic.
Oh, yeah.
They could win hands down. I think probably Anthem is going to be up there. I don't know what else. I don't know if anything from Switch may get up there. Maybe the Pokemon RPG if it's really groundbreaking or something. But I don't know if they could come out this year. That could be huge. But we'll see. I think it may be one of the more likely ones to hit 2019. Okay, this will be fun. Death Stranding.
Nope.
No. So this is Hideo Kojima's fever dream. Death Stranding is apparently playable, but at TGA this year, Kojima said that the moment he's at the phase where he's holding the controller the whole day, embedded new elements while playing the game. But who knows when this is going to come out. So, Steven, what do you think?
2021.
2021?
Fall 2021. I feel like
that's right. I don't know that this is going to be a PS5 launch game, quite like Last of Us or Ghost of Tsushima. I feel like this is going to have to fall after those.
Right.
The crazy thing is we've seen so much of this game, and yet we know nothing.
Yep.
Like, we've seen a lot of really cool trailers. And at E3, we got a little bit of quote-unquote gameplay. But it was the people walking around with the backpacks.
Yep.
And it's not really explained what it was happening, and we don't really know what any of that was. So
I doubt Hideo Kojima even knows what that was.
Yeah, pretty much. So who knows? But yeah, I agree with you. It's definitely not 2019. That's a nah.
Yeah.
But I think it's even further than some of the other ones.
Yep.
But all right. Metroid Prime 4 announced at E3's it's at Nintendo's E3 2017. We never got any kind of release date or release window. It was just announced.
Nintendo games are so hard to predict.
They are.
So for this one, I'm going to say no.
No for 2019.
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's possible. I think this could be one of their bigger games for this year. But they do have Luigi's Mansion that we have a 2019 date on. The Yoshi cardboard yarn game that they announced at the same E3 is coming out this year. The Pokemon RPG is supposedly going to happen this year.
Yep.
I still find that hard to believe, but they say it's going to happen.
Right.
So I don't know. I think, and then Fire Emblem, which was also first announced at this 2017 E3, is happening in 2019. So
and that's going to be in a few months.
Yeah,
hopefully.
Exactly. So if this happens, I feel like it has to be a November or December.
Yeah.
But I'm leaning more towards a January, February of 2020.
Right. I can see that.
But maybe we'll see it at E3. Maybe they'll make a big announcement. But who knows?
Yep.
They kind of had to make that first one just to kind of get people to shut up.
Yep.
Oh, and Animal Crossing's coming out in 2019.
Yep.
There's so many of those games that people are just like, when's the next of that coming out? When's the next of that coming out? That Nintendo just kind of had to say something about Metroid Prime just to get people to be like, we're working on it. Calm down. So, all right, that's a nah from both of us. Starfield from Bethesda, Steven.
No.
Yeah, I don't think so either. IGN is predicting 2020 here.
Yeah.
That's maybe. It depends on how long they've really been working on it.
Yep.
For an the announcement we got was very, very vague.
I mean, think about it. We've seen less from Starfield technically than we've seen from Elder Scrolls 6. Because at least with Elder Scrolls 6, we saw some of the world. But with Starfield, it was just like, hey, space, name. And that was it.
Space, a space station.
Yep.
Game. Yeah, it's, I don't know. I feel like, 2020, maybe at the earliest. But I'm thinking more like 2021 or 20.
Hey, can I call you back in a few minutes?
Or something. But no, 21 maybe would be the latest.
All right, thanks, bye.
But I think Elder Scrolls is going to come after that.
Sorry, I got a call from my dad.
Oh, you're good?
Yeah. So you're probably going to have to mute me there.
That's okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next one. Okay, Beyond Good and Evil 2.
No.
What do you think, Steven? No? You're probably right.
I just don't care. For one, like I feel like most people don't really care. And
I'm curious. The stuff they've shown looks really, really interesting. Like the world is so open and just like you're on this planet, you can fly out on your tiny ship to your big ship, and then you can travel across space, and it's just you can go here and there and everywhere, and everything just loads in. So I'm curious.
It's a Ubisoft
but I just don't
title.
Know why I want to play it?
It's a Ubisoft title. They haven't announced a release date for it, and even if they did say this year, I don't see that happening because Ubisoft titles get pushed back pretty often, and usually if you're within the year that a game is supposed to come out and they haven't announced a title yet or a release date, usually it's not going to come out that year when it comes to them.
Yeah. Well, and I think that makes sense. The public beta is apparently supposed to be coming out at the end of 2019, so we're probably definitely not going to see it in 19.
No.
I don't even know that we'll see it in 2020. Maybe the end of 2020. But
Ubisoft often releases in Q1 or 2 anyway, more so Q2.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
they like to release their games in May.
They might could meet that of 2020.
Yeah.
We'll see. But that's it for those. That's all we got. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this episode of Chortle Cast. We do hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, there's a couple things you can do to help us out. Number one, you can, if you're watching on YouTube, you're already at chortlegames.com. You can like this video, share it with your friends, and leave a comment to let us know what you thought about Stranger Things, the Smash Brothers DLC leaks, and what you think about some of those games that don't have release dates yet. Do you think they're going to be in 19 or not? Let us know in the comments. Also, if you're an audio listener, you can leave a review on iTunes. That really helps people find the podcast. Yeah, you can also email us at chortlecast@gmail.com. Let us know what you'd like to see for the 100th episode of Chortle Cast. But you can also let us know topics that you heard about this week you'd like to hear our thoughts on. If you have any questions for us, that sort of thing, you send those there. You can also hit us up on our Discord. We have a channel specifically for the podcast, so you can join that in the description of this video, the banner on our channel, or just in the description of this podcast. And yeah, you can also follow us on Twitter at Chortle Games and Facebook at Chortle Games. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, be sure to subscribe. Hit that notification bell, although it didn't help Steven this past Saturday.
Nope.
When he went live, no notifications were sent.
The
bell did not toll.
We went like 5 or 7 minutes into the stream, and I was the only one in the chat, and I was like, yeah, something's wrong. But yeah, notifications were sent.
When I popped in on you, I had just gotten back from dinner, and I was like, let me check on Steven, and I saw there's no one there, and I was like, oh, let me share this out.
Yep.
So, sorry I wasn't there earlier, but anyway, sometimes just things don't work, Technology's great till it's not. But the podcast is not the only thing we do, and I do want to just remind you, this is the new time. Monday at 12 o'clock Central Time is the podcast. So, but that's not the only thing we do. We have lots of content here on the channel. Podcast at 12 o'clock on Monday. On Tuesdays, we do this little thing called Team Up Tuesday. It's where we play a co-op game, typically online. And we do a couple hour stream of that. We've done a lot of Destiny. We're starting to do a lot more Division. We're going to be doing a lot of Anthem and more Division this year. We'll continue to do some Destiny as new things come out and come up. Yep. But so far, I'm the only one that's high enough level to really do any of them, so we'll see how that goes. Anyway, then Steven's like, yep, that's totally cool. On Wednesdays, we do a Let's Play. That's a short edited video. It's usually me and Steven playing a game, so it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of good stuff there. This Wednesday, it's going to be me and Brody, who we haven't seen on the channel in a while. He and I are playing Octodad. It's a series we kind of recorded last year. We're slowly getting through it, so that's going to be on Wednesday, so it'll be a lot of fun. You're going to want to watch that. Mm-hmm. On Thursdays, Steven is finishing up the Uncharted series. Yep. He's doing a whole playthrough of all the games, so you're going to start 3 Thursday.
Starting 3 on Thursday. I'm hoping to be done with that one in probably 3 weeks, and then I'll have 4, and I probably will finish 4 in 2 weeks.
Yeah. And then 4 is the last one, right?
4 is the last one I'm playing, because that's where Nathan Drake's story ends, and that's the only story we care about.
Exactly. Well, and so once Steven finishes Uncharted, that Thursday time slot is going to take a hiatus for a little while. Yeah. We may at that point rejigger the schedule a little bit, but I think right now our plan is to just kind of keep it open. Yep. So enjoy the Uncharted series while we have it. Mm-hmm. And then on Friday, we have a live stream where we find Xur in Destiny 2. It's typically Steven. Sometimes I'll be able to jump in and do it with him. But we find where Xur is, we see what he's selling, and help you find him and everything. And then we just kind of hang out, do a little bit. And then on Friday nights, we have a live stream, and on Saturday nights, we have a live stream. Yep. So lots of good stuff going on, lots of content to be a part of. Mm-hmm. We don't do anything Sunday, so take a nap, take a break. Yep. And catch back up with us on Monday. I like having the podcast on Monday because now we're going to be at the very front of the week, and we can talk about everything that happened in the week before. So it'll be a nice, hey, let's catch up. Let's get ready for the week. Steven, I don't know if you do this at your place of work, but do you guys have a Monday meeting?
Tuesday meeting.
Well, see, we have a Monday morning meeting at where I work. And I love it because over the weekend I've just kind of forgotten about everything. Yep. I've disconnected from the world. Same. I've gone into Destiny World. I come in on Monday. We have a meeting, and it's hey, here's what you need to know about. Here's what you got to get done this week. Yada yada yada. Yep. That is what Chortle Cast is about to become. Okay, it is about to be I missed everything last week. What do I need to know about? Let's catch up and then go into the rest of the week. So, I'm glad we're doing this. I think it's going to work great. I hope. And everyone, thank you for watching, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.